Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect. My name is Pete and today we complete the Espionage Probe assignment. This is a nice little assignment with a bit of backstory and a small twist. If approached correctly, it doesn't take too long, and it is a wonderful entry point into the Voyager Cluster where we will focus on Cerberus next. You said you wanted to see more of the Cerberus questline, and I actually thought we had to go back to the Citadel for that, and I was mistaken, we are actually further down in the questline than I thought, so in the next episode we will learn more about Cerberus. For both that and this assignment we need to travel to another system, so let's activate the galaxy map. Last episode we finished the Geth incursions assignment on Solcrum, and we also have the entire Armstrong Nebula complete now, so today let's travel to the Voyager Cluster. The Yangtze system will be where we continue with Cerberus, but for this episode we will head to the Amazon system.
Commander, incoming signal from 5th Fleet HQ on the Citadel.
Commander Shepard. Something uncomfortable has just come up. In the First Contact War, we fired a lot of espionage probes into Turian space. We just received a mission-complete burst from one of them.
Well, that probe sure was in no hurry.
Where's it been in the meantime?
No idea. Lost in transit. These probes were built in a hurry after First Contact.
So let's cut to the point here. Why is this important?
The war's over. What difference does it make?
When these probes were launched, we didn't have any idea who we were fighting. We didn't want to risk aliens examining our technology. The probe has a demo nuke built in. A 20-kiloton tactical fusion warhead. About equal to the bomb dropped on Hiroshima back in the 20th. If somebody finds that probe, tampers with it, you don't need me to finish, Commander.
Yeah, we are not exactly specialists in defusing nuclear weapons either.
Shouldn't a bomb disposal unit be sent for this? We don't have anyone trained in that.
I know. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. These probes have been classified for 26 years. The Council will call fusion bomb booby traps dangerous and irresponsible. The Alliance would face censure if they find this probe. I'm asking you because the Normandy can get on site quickly and quietly. It's in the Voyager Cluster.
And that is not exactly close to Turian space.
It's in the Voyager Cluster. That's the opposite side of the Alliance from Turian space. How did it get there?
I don't know. It's possible someone recovered it safely and brought it there. It's also possible it got very badly lost. It could have been wandering the relay network since the war.
Alright then, seems like we've got ourselves a job.
We'll get on it immediately, Admiral. And we'll be discreet.
I appreciate that, Commander. Good luck. 5th Fleet out.
Now, of course, before we land, we can survey the system. The first thing that we can find is a polonium deposit. After that, some Turian insignia. And also some nitrogen. And with that taken care of, we can now land on Agebinium. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And we're going with a squad combination that I think we haven't used at all in this playthrough. We're going with possibly my favorite squad mates, Rex and Garrus. Alright, here we are, and because both Rex and Garrus haven't seen much action over the last few episodes, we have to level them up first. With Garrus, we will first max out sniper rifles, grabbing mass assassination in the process, and then very fittingly we have 3 points left that can all go into assault training to unlock adrenaline burst. I just want to have that available to strike 2 quick overloads or 2 quick assassinations. We will likely not put any more points in here. With Rex, we then have 4 points to spend, and all 4 can go into shotguns, and we have that maxed out now. Now off screen I quickly did a bit of equipping, not too much, but both Rex and Garrus received an upgrade on their shotgun and sniper rifle respectively, and I also equipped Garrus with a new suit of armor. Apart from that, the loadout stayed pretty much the same, and we can now proceed to our very first point of interest here. And first of all, we arrive close to a samarium deposit. So let's quickly survey that, and then continue to the next one. There are a total of 3 mineral deposits here that we want to survey before beginning with the assignment, as that will make navigation in the second half of this video much easier. Now, maybe while we're moving here, a quick callback to this terminal in the colony of Zeus Hope. In these cargo logs, we discovered that several months' worth of human rations were delivered to an uncharted world in the Voyager Cluster. It seems like somebody was planning for a long stay. That is also the reason why this assignment is originally called Investigate Shipments, as these cargo logs of course make no connection to the probe. We will learn more about what's going on in a few minutes. For now, we have reached a magnesium deposit that we need to take care of. Right, 2 down, 1 last deposit to go, and the right there can be a bit tricky. If you take the slightly more accessible path and approach this deposit from the back, then you will eventually leave the map area, and you could get very close to driving the Mako too far and get your squad killed. For that reason, I went with the slightly more straightforward approach here and decided to simply climb up the mountain. And here we are, deposit number 3 is a beryllium deposit. And with that surveyed, we can now mark the quest location on the map and take care of a rogue probe with a nuclear warhead. What could go wrong? Maybe while we're moving, a bit of background information on the planet here. Despite the temperate red of the planet's surface, the surface temperature on Agebinium is actually minus 72 degrees Celsius, so quite frosty here, but not enough to warrant a level 1 cold hazard. Now as we go over the hill here, you can see our mission's location. No surface encampment, but the entrance to what seems to be a mine shaft. And one of our squad members will also make a comment about that in just a second. For now, let's exit the Mako, and well, nothing to loot or fight here, so let's go inside.
Mineshaft. That's the source of the signal.
This smells.
I agree. Your probe didn't crash. It was moved here.
Probably doesn't change the fact that we should do something about it.
There's a nuclear weapon down there. We can't abandon it. Just stay on guard.
Right.
Well, at least it seems like we're not alone here, unless the people who moved the nuke here are already gone again, but honestly that would make little sense, so let's prepare for combat and head inside. The layout here is the standard mineshaft layout. That means after this first corridor, we will first enter a small room. Connected to that is another small corridor, which eventually leads to the main area. However, as we can see by the lack of red dots on the minimap, this main area seems to be pretty much empty. And that is a bit unusual, because in other assignments that use some variety of this level, we always have the big fight take place right here. Now if we combine that with the slightly foreshadowing comments that Rax and Garrus made earlier, then it would not seem completely unlikely that we are actually running into an ambush here. Not much that we can do about this at the moment though, so let's take the only door that's available to us and continue.
That was a detonator. Someone just screwed us.
Shepard, at last.
Well, hello there, and who would you be?
Have we met?
My name is Elanos Haliat. I doubt you know it. Who do you think runs the Terminus clan, Shepard, huh? Thousands of pirates, slavers, criminals of every stripe?
Well, I don't assume it's a role that you might have held in the past.
In most criminal organizations, it's the one who's recognized as the most successful.
That's correct. The one who kills the most men, seizes the most ships, pillages the most colonies. 3 years ago, I was the strongest. I used my influence to assemble a fleet. We would drive your kind out of the Verge.
A bit of background info, he is referring to the Skyllian Blitz, which was a large-scale attack on a human colony, and one of the major groups to participate in this event were Batarian warlords. Now, we haven't met a Batarian yet, that will come when we play the Bring Down the Sky DLC, but it seems like there was also the occasional human involved, and most notably this guy right here. That just as a bit of background information, I believe it has not been discussed in detail in the game so far.
You're the one behind the attack on Elysium.
I was the motivator, the instigator, the one who promised glory and riches for sacking the largest human colony in the cluster. The one blamed when it failed. Failed! I was ruined when your kind held against the Blitz. What better way to recover my reputation than by eliminating the first human spectre?
I believe you're signing a bit of a death wish if you do that, to be honest.
My crew will come for me.
Oh, let them. We'll be ready. An Alliance warship would make a fine prize. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, the ores here are laced with heavy metals. I'm afraid your suit radios aren't powerful enough to transmit out.
And I also assume there is no talking you out of this.
It doesn't have to be like this, Haliat.
Empty words from a dead man. Goodbye, Shepard.
Orders, Commander.
Well, let's calm the mood here, even though I think that's easier said than done.
We've got air and light, and the Normandy's still in orbit. Let's look for another way out.
Alright, despite Shepard claiming we have both air and light, we now get this message that there is really no time to get out. The warhead on the probe has been activated and we now have 10 seconds to defuse it. Defusing is pretty much the standard hacking and decryption minigame, and the 10-second timer will also pause as long as we're in this minigame, which, even though there are 3 of these minigames, turns the whole affair into a somewhat manageable challenge. Alright, bomb disabled, crisis averted, at least for the moment. Now we still have to find a way out of here. To do that, we can go back through this tunnel here, but we can soon discover that the way we came from is blocked now, caused by the detonation. However, very conveniently, the door on the other side has been unlocked. And that probably has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that somebody wants us to go exactly through here. Now, before we go through this next door, there is an upgrade kit on the floor right here. That should not be missed, and now we can exit. Alright, we end up on a small but also very calm plateau here, but spoiler alert, combat is around the corner. For that reason, let's quickly put Inferno rounds on Shepard's sniper rifle, then also make sure that both him and Garrus actually have that sniper rifle selected, and then we can proceed closer to the edge. Now, what we can see down here is a group of hostiles led by none other than Elanos Haliat himself. Now, using assassination, then adrenaline burst, and then another assassination, we can get 2 very hard first hits on him, still however not enough to take him down. Now it is pretty safe to say that what we're facing here is a pretty nicely set ambush. The group down there even took our Mako. However, they kind of failed to understand the concept of height advantage. Of course, we can always argue that nobody expected Shepard to come out of this alive. Now that group down there is not hostile from the get-go, at least not from this distance. We can safely stand at the edge of the plateau, just look down, don't open fire, and they won't do anything. However, as soon as we approach them, they will start doing something, and with quite a lot of force. Next to Haliat, there are 2 snipers, I believe 2 to 3 normal soldiers, and also 2 Krogan in the group. That is something you don't really want to rush into, especially if you don't have any cover, so for the majority of enemies down there, the sniping approach works really well. Now, of course, we could extend this approach to all enemies down there, but to be honest, once the Krogan activate immunity, they take a long time to take down. So a strategy that I think works reasonably fast is to take out everyone but the Krogan with the sniper rifle, and then head down for a 3-on-2 assault against the 2 remaining enemies, with all your squad mates' abilities still available. All in all, as long as you choose a strategy that incorporates the sniper rifle, the fight will take a bit of time. It does give you the advantage of you being pretty much unable to die in this scenario. As long as you stand out of the line of sight of the 2 snipers down there, the rest of the group really can't do much damage over long range. Alright, we now have eliminated everyone but the Krogan, so let's rush down the hill and take care of those 2 next. Like I said, we will use the full extent of our abilities, in this case a combination of sabotage, warp and overkill, but you can see Krogan with immunity, it takes a while to get them down. Of course, once they're down the first time, they immediately get back up. To avoid that, we should have probably equipped polonium or incendiary rounds. The second Krogan gets hit with damping and a carnage from Rax, and you can see here without immunity his health bar gets torn to pieces in just a few seconds. And that's it. Haliat's ambush failed masterfully, I would say. We got rid of both him and the threat of a nuclear warhead on a probe, and that completes this assignment. That means we can now return to our beloved Mako, clear out the rest of the planet, and then return to the Normandy. There is only a small handful of things that we still need to take care of, and the first 2 points of interest are so close they are already marked on the compass, so let's investigate the first one, which is another crashed probe. We can salvage that for an armor and an ammo upgrade, and then hop back into the Mako and drive it to point of interest number 2 out of 3. A bit hard to spot in the sand and therefore easily missable is the scavenger corpse here. We definitely want to search that though because it holds another Turian insignia. Now, there is one last point that we can go to. It is somewhat optional, I would say. We won't get any collectibles or loot from it, but it is officially marked on the map, and therefore in true completionist fashion we will have to check it out. What I was talking about is this corpse next to some sort of wreckage. The text here reveals that this person was driving a speeder in an expensive suit and with aviator goggles, and it crashed that speeder and apparently died in the process. I am not quite sure if this is a reference to something. The expensive suit and aviator goggles seem oddly specific, but yeah, make of that what you want. For us, it is now time to return to the Normandy. We have completed everything there is on this planet and in the system, and that means next time we will continue with the UNC Cerberus assignment, and then in the episode after that the Hades Docks assignment, which should complete the whole Cerberus questline. I have actually already planned out the next 2 to 3 episodes after that as well, so now I just need to find the time to record and edit them. For today, however, and as usual, I can say thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.